17th century French philosopher René Descartes coined the dictum cogito ergo sum. This Latin sentence means I think, therefore I am, or I think, therefore I exist. When reading the collection of short stories Ashi Ved, or This Time by Sania, I was often reminded of this dictum. Although Descartes proposed this dictum to establish the existence of an individual, when reading the stories in this collection, one realizes that as women in Indian society became more and more capable of independent thought, their self-realization became more and more strong. Today, in the 99th episode of Granthayatra, we are going to explore this collection of stories by writer Sania. Sania's real name is Sunanda Kulkarni. She was born in Sangli in 1952. After completing her schooling from cities like Amravati, Nagpur, Nashik, Pune and Mumbai, she obtained her BCom degree from Pune University and her MCom from Mumbai University. For some time, she worked in the Voltas company in Mumbai. After marriage, she lived in various cities such as Chennai, Bangalore and Bhubaneswar. She also travelled to the US, Italy, China, Japan, Germany, Pakistan and France. Her first story, The Lost Trail, was published in the weekly Shri in 1968. Ever since, Sania has been writing consistently. Her stories were published in magazines such as Stree, Manohar, Kirloskar, Yugavani, Satyakatha and Mouse. She has published 16 books, including collections of short stories, collections of long stories and novels. Her short story collection Ashi Ved was published in 2010. The title of the first story in this book is Half the Story of a Writer. It is the tale of a writer who has a good job, a house of his choice, a family, and decent success as a writer. He has consciously developed his personality to become a more informed person. He has made a conscious decision to give his wife an equal status at home, and he has managed to win a few small awards for his writings. He is often invited to seminars and conferences, and he has achieved some publicity through newspaper articles. And yet, deep inside, he is aware of the insignificance of all his achievements. Then one day, a smart woman reader of his books, who claims to be his classmate from his college days, contacts him to praise his writings and at the same time throws him a challenge. This is when the writer's pretense of chivalry and his love for his wife falls away. He convinces himself that as a writer, it is important for him to have all kinds of experiences. He thinks, I must get to know a woman to better understand these complexities. Not just one woman who lives with me as a wife or other women in typical relations of life, but a real woman, someone completely different. This is where his search for self takes him beyond his identity as a writer. At the same time, his belief that his wife's happiness is dependent on him also gets shattered. Sania's stories feature patriarchal family structures prevalent in our unequal society, as well as women who oppose this structure and advocate women's empowerment. In her story Famine, the protagonist is a newly married woman. Her husband is someone who has firmly articulated his desires and dreams. She, on the other hand, is still getting used to her new life. The issue between them is a simple thing of closing the washroom tap properly, but it leads to disagreement, fights, and his refusal to understand her point of view. Yet, the cause of the fights is only an excuse. The reality is that he cannot tolerate anyone pointing out his mistakes. But she is aware of herself as an individual and is economically independent. She has quietly tucked away in a corner of her mind the option of leaving him, an option that she would think about if required. The protagonist in the story, The Gene of Love, has lived a life of patriarchal dominance. He has never felt anything wrong with it, and that is the reason he has never developed a loving relationship with his wife or daughter. Sania writes, initially, the wife would say that a father should participate more in raising their daughter. Not exactly in those words, of course, but she would suggest that he do some small tasks. But gradually, all that faded away. After his wife's death, the grown-up daughter now sees to it that her father is taken care of, but she has chosen her own path of life. Several of Sania's stories feature various shades of the mother-daughter relationship. The protagonist in the story, The Question of Being, is visiting her daughter settled in a foreign country for the birth of the daughter's baby. There she meets an old friend of hers. That meeting revives old memories when they both belong to a group of friends. She remembers her past life that was obsessed with idealism. She realizes that everyone else in the group had later led ordinary lives. She was the only one who had continued to nurture her idealism. She had continued to give sermons to others. But now, she is not so sure what she had gained out of it. There is not much dialogue in her own family, and she can only watch from the sidelines as her daughter is victimized by a patriarchal society. She does not have the luxury of time to right any wrongs, for she is suffering from cancer. Combs is another subtle tale in this book. The protagonist is intrigued by an old comb seller in the vicinity of her office. She feels compassion for him. She herself leads a life of hardships as she has to manage the household single-handedly while pursuing her day job. She has to look after her young daughter and her old mother-in-law. Her husband, who has left for some foreign land for work, has not returned even after a year and a half. She tries to relieve the tremendous pressure on her mind by finding small joys in her day-to-day life. Through this, she tries to explore her own identity and that of others. Sania's stories try to explore the bottom of a woman's mind as the writer keenly observes women around her. While acknowledging the fast-changing ways of life, these stories depict the reality through sensitive portrayal of characters. In her writings, the reader is introduced to several young and perceptive men and women who are standing on the threshold of their lives of independence. In the story The Line, we meet Nima, who has returned to India in search of a lost relationship. When her father had betrayed her mother's trust, her mother had left her marital home along with the then 4-year-old Nima. It has been 25 years since then. Although her mother had resented her mother-in-law, the granddaughter cannot deny her relationship with her grandmother. Nima's own life is complicated as she too is romantically involved with a married man. The grandmother had no choice but to tolerate her son's immoral ways, and she is not close enough to her granddaughter to advise her on her life. The story underlines the fact that every individual tries to live their life on their own terms. The female protagonists in these stories know that as a woman, experiencing life in its fullness, even when following their daily routine, can be an important component of their existence. The protagonist of the story, Shadow, is a grieving mother who has lost her young son. Her husband and her daughter consider her stupid. But she is beginning to realize that although she has led an ordinary life, she has the skills to understand other people's minds. In the story Women and, the writer deftly portrays the experiences that are unique to women when they live within the framework sanctioned by the society and the issues they face when they live outside it. One of the woman characters in this story says, "After all, marriage is marriage. One can live with a husband whom we trust and as per the norms. One does develop feelings for him gradually. That's not impossible altogether. Once children are born, the woman is fairly off the hook. her own expectations also get toned down. One has to then learn to focus on other things. Although women are central to Sania's stories, her writing is not just feminist. They explore the human predicament, life in modern times, and examine several big and small circumstances that curb individual freedoms. Through this, her writing explores the meaning of life. In the story Past Life, the protagonist is tormented by a subconscious fear that has turned into a psychosomatic illness, while the protagonist of the story Infection regards the universal penchant for life as a kind of mental illness. In the story Girls, a teenage girl begins to feel guilty for her own secure life after observing the travails of two beggar girls, while in the story Deal, the writer depicts the several compromises one has to make in life. Women in Sania's stories are educated, working, and those who aspire for independence. They think of themselves as individuals and are compassionate towards others. This humanizing of women characters is an important characteristic of Sania's writings. To talk to us more about this modern writer, we have with us today Dr. Vandana Bokil.
नमस्कार, मी वंदना बोकील कुलकर्णी. सानिया या प्रसिद्ध कथाकार, कादंबरीकार, लेखिकेच्या अशी वेळ या संग्रहावरती आपण आज अर्चना मिरजकर यांच्याकडून ऐकतो आहोत. या संदर्भात मी माझी 2 निरीक्षणं या कथासंग्रहाच्या संदर्भातली नोंदवते आहे. सानिया यांच्या सगळ्याच कथांमध्ये आपल्याला दिसते 80 सालापासून सानिया लिहित आहेत. त्यांच्या सगळ्या कथांमधून आपल्याला एक प्रगल्भ आणि संयत असा सूर कायम ऐकायला येतो. आणि या प्रकारच्या लेखिकेचा जो लेखन स्वभाव म्हणता येईल तो आपल्याला अशी वेळ या संग्रहामध्ये सुद्धा दिसतो. या संग्रहातल्या 2 कथांचा उल्लेख मी मुद्दाम करेन इथे. त्यातली पहिली कथा आहे दुष्काळ. या कथेमधली जी नायिका आहे त्या नायिकेचं नवीनच लग्न झालं आहे आणि तिच्या नवऱ्याबरोबर तिनं नवीनच संसाराला सुरुवात केली. पहिल्याच दिवशी तिच्या लक्षात येतं की या घरातला जो नळ आहे तो गळतो आहे आणि त्या टिपटिप गळणाऱ्या नळाचा तिला अतिशय त्रास होतो. प्रत्येक गळणाऱ्या थेंबाबरोबर तिला आठवतात त्या उन्हातान्हामध्ये डोक्यावरती हंडे घेऊन पाण्याच्यासाठी वणवण हिंडणाऱ्या बायका. आणि इतकी संवेदनशील अशी ही सुशिक्षित सुजाण अशी स्त्री तिच्या नवऱ्याला सांगू पाहते की तो नळ बंद करणं किती गरजेचं आहे आणि त्याला मात्र ते समजत नाही. ही न समजण्याची शोकांतिका अनेक स्त्री पुरुषांमध्ये आपल्याला दिसते. संवेदनशीलतेचा अभाव, बेफिकिरी या सगळ्या गोष्टी तिथे एकवटल्या आहेत असं दिसतं आपल्याला. आणि नवऱ्याला मात्र असं वाटतं की इथे नव्या आपल्या दिवसांमध्ये हिला त्या गळणाऱ्या नळाची मात्र फिकीर जास्त आहे. आता हा जो विसंवादाचा भाग आहे इथूनच या कथेची सुरुवात आहे. आता माहीत नाही ही नायिका कोणता निर्णय घेईल, ती पुढे जाऊन कशा प्रकाराने वागेल आणि त्या दोघांचं नातं कसं असेल. पण जो तुकडा कथेमध्ये येतो त्या कथेमध्ये त्या नायिकेची कमालीची तीव्र संवेदनशीलता दिसते आणि पर्यावरण स्नेह असा शब्द कुठेही न वापरता ही लेखिका आपल्याला त्याच्याबद्दलचं भान देते. दुसरी कथा प्रेमाचं जनुक ही आहे. प्रेम ही गोष्ट मनातूनच म्हणजे खरं तर रक्तातूनच माणसाला मिळत असते आणि ते केवळ स्त्री पुरुष प्रेमापुरतं संबंधित नाही हे या कथेचं प्रतिपादन आहे. सर्वसामान्य मध्यमवर्गीय कुटुंब आहे. 2 म्हणजे आईबाबा आहेत आणि त्यांची मुलगी आहे आणि ही मुलगी सुशिक्षित आहे, अतिशय हुशार आहे. वडिलांच्या पावलावर पाऊल ठेवून कॉर्पोरेट विश्वामध्ये जाणं तिनं नाकारलं आहे आणि ती ॲनिमल रेस्क्यूमध्ये काम करते एका स्वयंसेवी संस्थेमध्ये. वडिलांना मात्र ते अजिबातच पसंत नाही आहे आणि आईचा मात्र तिला पाठिंबा आहे. आणि असं करून या आई मुलीचं जग तिच्या एकत्रित तिघांच्या कुटुंबाच्या जगापेक्षा काहीसं वेगळं आणि अधिक ज्याला आपण सेन्सिटिव्ह, अतिशय संवेदनशील असं होतं, समजुतीचं होतं. आपण या जगाच्या कायम बाहेर राहिलो याचं भान त्या बाबांना फार उशिरा येतं जेव्हा की त्यांची बायकोही नाही आहे आणि मुलगीही काहीशी दुरावलेली आहे अशा काळात. पण ही मुलगी जे सांगते ते फार महत्त्वाचं आहे. ती म्हणते की प्रेमाचं जनुक आतूनच असायला लागतं बाबा, ते तुमच्यात नाही. हे जे ठामपणे त्या मुलीचं सांगणं आहे तिथून त्या वडिलांमध्ये काहीतरी एक जागं होतं आणि ते थोडासा तरी आत्मशोध घ्यायला प्रवृत्त होतात. मला या 2 कथा फार महत्त्वाच्या, 2 वेगवेगळ्या अनुभवांवरती लिहिलेल्या असल्या तरी त्यांच्यातलं अंतस्थ नातं एक आहे असं वाटतं. सानियांच्या सगळ्याच कथांमध्ये आपल्याला बहिणी बहिणी, मैत्रिणी मैत्रिणी, आई मुलगी, सासू सून, सहकारी स्त्रिया अशा स्त्रियांमधली नाती फार आत्मीयतेने रंगवलेली दिसतात. याही कथेत ते तसं दिसतंच आपल्याला. आणि एक जो संयत सूर सतत सुरुवातीपासून ऐकू येतो त्याला हाही कथासंग्रह अपवाद नाही असं मला वाटतं. आणि जरूर आपण सगळ्यांनी हा कथासंग्रह वाचावा. एका वेगळ्या अतिशय संवेदनशील विषयांना लेखिका कशी भिडते ते यामधून आपल्याला दिसतं. धन्यवाद.
Do read Ashi Ved, a collection of stories that artistically portray women's existence, their aspirations, their lives as individuals, and their exploration of the self. In the 100th episode of Granthayatra, we shall explore a novel that lays out the graph of the evolution of human values in today's world of rapidly evolving technology. Until then, keep reading.